Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another How About Them Celtics video. Sam and I are recording on Thursday, February 13th, talking about Sam Cassell, because Sam Cassell, who has been one of the top assistants in the NBA for years now, might finally be making a jump, but not to the NBA. He spoke, whatever you want to say, with Steve Bulpett of Heavy.com. And said that Sam Cassell will be in serious consideration to be the head coach at Florida State, which is his alma mater. I saw Steve talking to Sam Cassell on the sidelines before yesterday's game, so I assume that's where some of these quotes came from. Um, Sam Cassell said, once the athletic department reaches out, then the interest is official, but they haven't reached out to me. The athletic director hasn't reached out to me yet. So he hasn't heard anything, but from what Steve Bulpett is hearing, which I trust Steve Bulpett as a source, could be in line to potentially be a top candidate for that job.
So this is very exciting news for Sam Cassell. It's not so exciting news for all of us. Anytime you lose a top assistant, it's a tough thing to recover from. A lot of people were pointing at losing Charles Lee this year as part of the team's struggles and part of the reason for why they were inconsistent on defense or whatever the problem that they decided to point at that day was. But losing them mid-season is less than ideal. Let's all get in the time machine and go back 2 years to when Damon Stoudemire had a very similar thing pop up where he became the Georgia Tech head coach. Things didn't really go well. Really felt like they missed Damon Stoudemire after he left. I don't think the Celtics would block this. I think they would encourage Cassell to go be the head coach. Cassell's been an assistant forever. He deserves an opportunity to have his own team, to be the man in charge and everything. But just from a purely Celtics fan, Celtics community perspective, losing somebody of that magnitude has to make you feel a little bit uneasy. It doesn't mean the sky's falling. It doesn't mean everything's over. It doesn't mean it's all going to go off the rails. It just means that there is one less person for Missoula to lean on in his camp. And Joe, who is a very team-oriented guy, to say the very least, is going to always ask the opinions of those guys, and he leans on them heavily. Not to say he's not good as his own coach in his own coaching matter either, but it is important for those guys to be there.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about Damon Stoudemire leaving. You talked about like other coaches leave. It's rare that coaches leave mid-season. I don't know if that's what Sam Cassell would do. I wonder if it's they hire an interim coach and then they hire Sam Cassell after the season. Like that would probably make a little more sense. I just don't know that he would just leave in a season. Like in this little article, there's a bunch of little tidbits. Go read it from Steve Bulpett. He also mentioned like Doc wanted me to come to Milwaukee after we won the championship, and he said I said couldn't do it. He said everything's good over here. We're just trying to defend our title, get through this regular season, and mix it all up again. Was asked about like the NCAA and the NIL money and the transfer portal, and Sam Cassell said that's a hurdle I've got to step to if it comes that way. Haven't thought about it yet, but yeah, it's totally different than it was 10 years ago. And if I choose to pursue that, that's what I got to get used to and get ready for. I don't know if Sam Cassell would leave. I don't know that Charles Lee leaving was a huge factor in the Celtics quote unquote struggles this year. I put in quotes because like struggles is all relative. They're not as good as they were last year, but they're still 39-16. Like they're still an incredible basketball team. And for what it's worth, they've been playing a hell of a lot better lately than they were at the end of last year and into this year. Obviously, it would suck to lose Sam Cassell. He's the head assistant. I don't know who would step into that role if he were to leave. Probably DJ McClay, because he's emerging as a real solid assistant coach for Boston. Maybe Tony Dobbins, but it doesn't feel like Sam Cassell is eager to leave unless he gets the right opportunity. Like you said in the article, like he was asked by Doc Rivers to join Milwaukee staff, but if he's saying no to like that opportunity, it doesn't sound like he'll leave for any other assistant job. Like this is probably the best assistant job in the NBA right now. But if a head coaching opportunity were to come around, it maybe is something he would look into. If I had to guess, he'd probably wait for an NBA head coaching job, but I don't actually know. But at the very least, Florida State's interested, and it's you want Sam Cassell to pursue good opportunities like that, but it would suck to lose him if you're the Celtics.
It would suck. It absolutely would suck. But if he's willing to hang out, through the end of the season, it really isn't that big of a blow because when the offseason rolls around, you have time to replace them. You'll have time to vet the other candidates, see who's going to be a good fit to step into that role. Maybe it's one of the internal people, some of the player development guys. I'm sure DJ McClay could be somebody. Tony Dobbins is in the front row. There's a lot of options when it comes to the Celtics coaching staff. They have a brilliant group of guys, and it's going to help them going forward. And Missoula, again, I think he really trusts everybody on the staff. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. And a lot of them have past playing experience and all of that. So it's going to help them have respect from the players, respect from the other coaches. And again, there's going to be there'll probably be coach firings in the summer. You can pick from those candidates to fill Cassell's seat if he does choose to go to Florida State. There's a lot of unknowns in this. And I guess we're just going to have to wait and see on it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird thing to pop out in the middle of the season. If Steve Bulpett is hearing something, that probably means there is a little bit of buzz. Did they fire their head coach? Is that what happened?
That is a great.
So February 3rd, Leonard Hamilton resigned as the head coach. I don't know. Okay, listen. Effective at end of season. So he's not leaving till the end of the season. So Sam Cassell wouldn't have to join the Seminoles till the end of the basketball season, which means he's probably not, or almost assuredly not, going anywhere this year for the Celtics. However, it does mean there's probably going to be opportunities for him this summer in the college scene. And I mean, we could have predicted that there were going to be opportunities for him probably in the NBA scene. Like, I bet NBA teams are going to look at him as a potential head coaching candidate. So it sounds like Sam Cassell is going to be in Boston for the remainder of this year at the very least, unless something else pops up, like magically an NBA head coaching job jumps up and he wants to take it. I remember, I don't know how many years ago it was, but when the Timberwolves job opened up mid-season, Nick Nurse left the Raptors coaching staff in the middle of the season to take it, which was like pretty unprecedented. Like, that's a very weird thing. Like, it almost never happened. So I don't think Sam Cassell would do it, but at the very least, it sounds like Cassell will be in town till the end of the year, which is good for Boston.
Yeah, very good. And he's always out there before the games. He's clearly a massive voice in the locker room. He's somebody that the players respect. He's somebody who seems to be very good vibes. He's always talking mad shit to everybody out there before the games. Everybody wants to come up and talk to him from opposing teams. So personally, I'm happy he's sticking around. The more Sams we can have around, I think the better. We all agree with that. Who doesn't love that? It's also cool with the Celtics lineage. He won a title here. He was here for the 2024 title as well. And I mean, that doesn't mean nothing. It's not nothing. It does mean something. The way the Celtics are built, I'm sure everybody will be watching the documentary next month when it drops from HBO, Celtic City. There's going to be a lot of discussion about, Celtic pride and what it means to win in Boston and all that, and carrying on a legacy and writing a history for yourself. I'm sure those things are somewhat of a factor. Like you said, he wasn't rushing out the door to go play or go coach in Milwaukee, rather. He wanted to stay, continue building what they're building in Boston. I'm sure it helps that he, is the lead assistant here. I don't know if he would have been Doc's lead assistant. Maybe he would have been. But he's somebody that is making an impact. I think he's well respected, and it would be tough to lose him ultimately. So I want him to, of course, have the best possible career for himself. I know the ultimate goal when you get into coaching is to be a head coach. So for him to pass up that opportunity would just be unfair for him.
Yeah, we'll see. We probably won't know more about this until the playoffs come around, because that's when college coaches and a lot of people start actually eyeing stuff. That's when we started hearing rumblings of Charles Lee to Charlotte, stuff like that. But at the very least, it sounds like Sam Cassell has at least one person or organization or whatever you want to call it interested in bringing him on as head coach, which is pretty unsurprising. But to know that they're actually going to be out there to hear Sam Cassell talk about it is interesting. But let us know your thoughts. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to Have At Them Celtics, and I'll let Sam take it out.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, comment, tell us what you think of Sam Cassell. You can also hit the bell and subscribe, because we are putting up new content every single morning. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps are up the morning after each game. Other videos like this one are on the channel on the days in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can also find Jack and I streaming live for a half hour before every single Celtics game. Those streams are a ton of fun. Pre-game's great. Come hang out. It's a blast. You can find us on Spotify and Apple too. All pods and recaps are up there. So if you're looking for the audio versions, go ahead and follow us there. They'll go right to your feed. Leave a 5-star review. We'd appreciate that very much. It does help us reach more people. Also, tell your friends. It's a good way to tell people about us. The email, hbtcpod@gmail.com. We're reading the emails every single time we do a podcast. So get them in. We'll be recording again this weekend. hbtcpod@gmail.com. Our socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook's the name of the podcast. All streams are there on YouTube and on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's Jacksman NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Tic-tac-toe.